Across the Sunshine State, home builders are hitting the panic button. They're slashing prices left and right, with cuts ranging from $20,000 to a jaw-dropping $55,000. Many people believe that homes have been overpriced for too long and think that a 50% price cut would more accurately reflect their true value. Now, why should you care if you're not house hunting in Florida? Well, this trend could have massive ripple effects. Homeowners might see their property values plummet, investors could watch their portfolios shrink, and the broader economy, it might just catch a nasty cold. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this matters, even if you don't live in Florida, and what it could mean for your financial future. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind this potential housing crisis? Welcome to EconoFin. We'll get you up to date on what's going on in the economy. If you have an update to share with the group, please use the word update somewhere in your comment below. Also, please make sure you give us a geographical location if that's relevant. Remember 2006? Florida's housing market is showing eerily similar signs of distress, with inventory at its highest since the last crash and prices estimated to be 30% overvalued. Are we on the brink of another real estate nightmare? The truth behind this potential housing crisis is more alarming than you might think. What if I told you that right now there are 300,000 homes for sale in the South, the highest number since 2006, and we all know what happens after that? It's like watching a rerun of a horror movie, but this time it's happening in real time. The Florida housing market is showing signs that are eerily reminiscent of the conditions that led to the 2006-2007 crash. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the numbers. Remember how we mentioned that Florida's home prices are estimated to be 30% overvalued? Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Analysts are sounding the alarm, warning that the current housing market in Florida could remain sluggish, mirroring the period before the last crash. And here's a statistic that should make you sit up and take notice. 13 out of the 15 housing markets at the highest risk of price corrections are located in Florida. That's not just a red flag, it's a parade of them. But wait, there's more. The rapid increase in supply, with some areas seeing supply increases of over 50%, combined with a decrease in demand, suggests that prices may need to drop significantly. It's like watching a game of musical chairs, but instead of kids running around, it's homeowners and investors, all hoping they won't be left without a seat when the music stops. Now, you might be thinking, surely we've learned from our mistakes, right? Well, not so fast. Several real estate analysts warns that the South, including Florida, is experiencing a massive housing bubble that's about to burst. New homes for sale are exceeding previous peak levels. Let's take a moment to consider the historical context. The 2006-2007 crash wasn't just a blip on the radar. It was a full-blown economic catastrophe that left millions of homeowners underwater on their mortgages and triggered a global financial crisis. And now we're seeing similar patterns of overbuilding and speculative pricing. So why should you care if you're not in the market for a Florida beach house? Well, remember that housing markets don't exist in isolation. A significant downturn in Florida could send shockwaves through the entire U.S. economy. It could affect everything from construction jobs to furniture sales and even impact the stock market. Your 401k might take a hit, even if you've never set foot in the Sunshine State. But here's the silver lining. Knowledge is power. By recognizing these historical patterns, we can make more informed decisions in today's housing market. Whether you're a potential home buyer, a current homeowner, or an investor, understanding these trends can help you navigate the choppy waters ahead. Have you ever seen a fire sale sign at a store? Well, imagine that, but for entire neighborhoods. That's the reality in Florida right now, where home builders are resorting to tactics usually reserved for going out of business sales. What's causing this unprecedented panic among builders, and how could it impact your financial future? Let's dive into the numbers. The months of supply for home builder lots is currently at a staggering 9.1 months. This isn't just a random statistic. It's one of the highest levels ever recorded and a historical indicator of recession. It's like watching the pressure build in a steam engine, and we're all wondering when it might blow. But why are builders so desperate to offload their inventory? It's not just about having too many houses. Major players in the industry are feeling the heat. Analysts are downgrading big names like Lennar and D.R. Horton due to concerns about a sluggish housing market, particularly in Florida. Now, let's talk about those aggressive price cuts. We're not talking about a few $1,000s here and there. Builders are slashing prices by tens of thousands of dollars. It's a buyer's market, right? Well, not so fast. This situation is creating a dangerous domino effect. Here's where it gets really interesting. D.R. Horton, one of the largest home builders in the U.S., revealed that over 50% of their home purchases are financed with low down payment government-backed mortgages. Why does this matter? Well, as prices drop, these recent buyers are at high risk of going underwater on their mortgages. But the builders aren't just cutting prices. They're getting creative and potentially desperate. Many are employing aggressive mortgage rate buydowns to stimulate sales. Sounds great on paper, right? Lower interest rates, more affordable homes. But there's a catch. These favorable rates can't be transferred when homeowners want to sell. This strategy might backfire spectacularly. Imagine buying a home only to find out a few months later that your neighbor got the same house for $50,000 less. That's the reality many recent buyers are facing. The aggressive price cuts by builders are leading to a situation where recent buyers may find themselves underwater almost immediately. It's like buying a new car and watching its value plummet the moment you drive it off the lot, except this is your home we're talking about. So why should you care if you're not in the market for a Florida home? These trends can have far-reaching implications for the broader economy. When home builders panic, it can affect everything from construction jobs to furniture sales and even impact the stock market. Understanding these builder strategies can help you identify market trends and potential investment risks. It's like having a crystal ball that gives you a glimpse into the future of the housing market. Are we seeing the first tremors of a larger economic shift? Only time will tell. Remember that crystal ball we talked about? Well, it's showing us more than just housing trends. Imagine a domino effect where falling home prices trigger a cascade of economic consequences. How far do these dominoes stretch, and what happens when they all come tumbling down? The housing market downturn in Florida isn't just affecting builders and buyers. It's sending shockwaves through various sectors of the state's economy. Think about it. When home sales slow down, it's not just real estate agents who feel the pinch. Construction workers, furniture stores, and even local governments start to see the impact. Let's look at the construction sector first. With builders facing increased inventory levels and reduced sales, we're likely to see layoffs and reduced economic activity. It's a tough situation. These workers depend on a thriving housing market for their livelihoods, and when it slows down, they're often the first to feel the effects. But it doesn't stop there. The banking sector is also bracing for impact. If homeowners start defaulting on their mortgages due to falling home values, banks could face significant losses. It's a scenario that's all too familiar to those who remember the 2008 financial crisis. Now, you might be wondering, what about local governments? Well, they're not immune either. As property values decline, so do property tax revenues. This could lead to budget cuts affecting everything from schools to public services. Imagine your local park closing or your child's school cutting back on programs. That's the kind of real-world impact we're talking about. One of the key factors driving this downturn is the slowdown in new resident influx in Florida. The post-pandemic migration boom that saw people flocking to the Sunshine State is starting to reverse. Fewer new residents mean less demand for homes, which in turn puts pressure on the entire housing market. Let's look at some specific numbers to give you a clearer picture. In key Florida markets like Pensacola and Northport, we're seeing dramatic increases in inventory. 52% and 50% respectively. At the same time, demand has plummeted, with decreases of 28% and 18% in these same areas. It's a perfect storm of too many homes and not enough buyers. But here's where it gets really interesting. This housing market slump isn't just affecting real estate investments, it's influencing investment decisions across various sectors. Investors are reassessing risks associated with the housing market, and this caution is spilling over into other areas of the economy. Think about it this way. If you're an investor looking at Florida, you're not just considering real estate anymore. You're looking at the health of local businesses, the stability of the job market, and the overall economic outlook of the state. It's all interconnected, and the housing market is at the center of it all. So what does this mean for you, even if you're not in the market for a Florida home? Well, if you have any investments, whether it's in stocks, mutual funds, or even your 401k, there's a good chance they could be affected by these economic shifts. The ripple effects of a housing market downturn can reach far beyond state lines. Analysts are even expressing concerns that the current housing market conditions could lead to a recession. An oversupply of homes and declining demand are key indicators of economic instability. It's like watching storm clouds gather on the horizon. We can see the signs, but we're not sure how severe the storm will be. As we brace for potential economic turbulence, a strange phenomenon is unfolding in Florida's real estate market. Single-family homes and condos are telling two different stories. What's driving this split, and more importantly, what does it mean for your investment strategy? You might think that Florida's housing market is uniformly gloomy, but that's far from the truth. In fact, some cities are experiencing rising home prices while others are seeing significant declines. It's a tale of two markets that's leaving investors scratching their heads. Let's take a closer look at this puzzling situation. In Miami-Dade County, single-family home prices have risen by 10%. That's right, while we've been talking about market crashes and price slashes, some areas are still seeing growth. But before you start planning your move to Miami, there's a catch. The condo market in South Florida is facing serious challenges. Closed sales have declined between 2.4% and 7% in key counties. This has led to a doubling of the number of condos for sale compared to last year. It's like watching two different movies playing side by side. One, a feel-good drama, the other, a nail-biting thriller. But why such a stark difference? One factor is the new structural inspection laws implemented after the tragic Champlain Towers South collapse. These laws require older buildings to undergo inspections and allocate funds for repairs. For condo owners, this means additional pressures and potential costs, making condos a less attractive option for many buyers. The impact of these changes is clear. In Broward County, condos are now taking more than 13 weeks to sell compared to about 9 weeks a year ago. That's an extra month on the market, a lifetime in real estate terms. Now, let's zoom out and look at some specific Florida markets. Pensacola, for instance, has seen a 52% increase in supply, alongside a 28% decrease in demand. Northport is experiencing similar trends, with a 50% increase in supply and an 18% decrease in demand. It's like watching a seesaw, with supply going up as demand plummets. But here's where it gets really interesting. Despite the increase in condo inventory, sellers aren't significantly slashing prices. South Florida condos are still selling for about 94% of their asking price. It's as if sellers are holding their breath, waiting for the market to turn in their favor. So what does all this mean for you? Well, if you're considering investing in Florida real estate, you need to be more discerning than ever. The days of any property in Florida is a good investment are long gone. You need to look at each market and even each neighborhood individually. For instance, if you're interested in single-family homes in Miami-Dade, you might still see some appreciation, but if you're looking at condos, especially older ones, you need to factor in the potential costs of structural inspections and repairs. On the other hand, markets like Pensacola and Northport might offer opportunities for bargain hunters. With supply up and demand down, you might be able to negotiate a better deal. But remember, a good deal today might not look so good if prices continue to fall. While many see doom and gloom in the Florida housing market, a hidden silver lining is emerging. What if this market turmoil is actually setting the stage for the smartest real estate moves of the decade? The answer lies in an unexpected shift that's transforming the landscape for buyers and investors. Let's start with some good news. Mortgage rates have fallen to 6.46%, the lowest in over a year. This drop in rates could bring about 2 million new home buyers into the market. That's a significant increase in demand, which could help stabilize the market. As mortgage rates fall, buyers are gaining more negotiating power. This means better deals on homes could be on the horizon. It's like the market is shifting in favor of the buyer, creating opportunities that weren't there before. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't you just tell us that home prices in Florida were overvalued? You're right, we did, but here's the twist. As affordability increases due to falling mortgage rates, we're seeing signs of home prices rising. In fact, there was a reported increase of 1.3% in July 2024 compared to the previous year. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you're a potential home buyer or investor, this could be your moment. Real estate experts are suggesting that the current housing crisis may present a golden opportunity for long-term investors. It's like finding a diamond in the rough, if you know where to look. But before you rush out to buy property, there's something important you need to know. This opportunity comes with a catch. It requires thorough research and due diligence. The ongoing adjustments in the market may allow investors to identify genuine opportunities amidst the turmoil, but you need to know what you're looking for. Real estate analysts are warning that the housing market is experiencing a bubble that's beginning to pop. Now, that might sound scary, but for savvy investors, it could create advantageous buying conditions. Think about it this way: when everyone else is panicking, that's often when the best opportunities arise. The combination of increased inventory and declining demand in certain markets provides a unique opportunity for buyers to negotiate better prices. It's like being in an auction where suddenly no one else is bidding. But here's the kicker: this window of opportunity might not last long. As the market stabilizes, those who act quickly may benefit from lower prices and favorable mortgage rates. This could lead to future equity gains. It's like getting in on the ground floor of a promising investment. Now, you might be wondering, is this too good to be true? Well, according to some realtors in the Northwest Florida area, now is indeed a good time to buy a home in the United States. They're basing this on the falling mortgage rates we discussed earlier. But remember, real estate is always local. What's true for one area of Florida might not be true for another. That's why it's crucial to do your homework. Look at local market trends, talk to real estate professionals in the specific area you're interested in, and always consider your personal financial situation. Here's something else to consider. If you're in a position to buy, you might have less competition right now. With all the negative news about the housing market, some potential buyers might be sitting on the sidelines. That could mean less competition for the properties you're interested in. As we wrap up our journey through Florida's tumultuous housing market, let's reflect on the key lessons. Recognizing market cycles is crucial for making informed decisions. The signs we've seen, overvaluation, inventory spikes, and price cuts, are all part of a larger economic pattern. But here's the thing: knowledge is your best defense. Stay informed about local market conditions, keep an eye on inventory levels, and be cautious when prices seem too good to be true. Remember, what goes up must come down in real estate, but those who are prepared can weather any storm. As mortgage rates fall, new opportunities may arise, but don't rush in blindly. Do your homework, consider long-term trends, and always factor in potential risks. In this ever-changing landscape, being well-informed isn't just smart, it's essential for navigating the choppy waters of real estate investment. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and watch this one as well.